Welcome to Charles Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Monday, the 20th of September, comes to you from Burgundy in France. I'm on my way to the south. Taking a look at markets this morning, a lot of red on the screen. Of course, the energy mix had a really big week last week with a lot of volatility, and we will take a look at that in a moment. So first of all, looking at the general markets, and seeing a lot of red on the screen, as I say. The dollar pushing higher, stronger dollar. This is looking very much like the move to a higher high. So dollar strength is the key. That means we're seeing the euro weaker against the dollar at 117, and we're also seeing sterling sitting at 136.74 against that weaker dollar, falling away there. So sterling is weaker as well. Taking a look at Bitcoin, we're sitting at $44,900 this morning. Big falls yesterday and today, of course. Bitcoin is traded 24/7, and we're seeing here this push lower. So Bitcoin in short-term bearish territory, not really worrying on the medium and long-term charts. This is the weekly and the daily charts, but on the 60-minute chart we are below the cloud, which is bearish, of course. The S&P 500 index fell on Friday, just pushing to a lower low there, so that's not great news for the market. Still holding the medium and long-term trends, but we are just seeing signs of weakness on the shorter-term charts, and the same true of the Nasdaq, of course, just creeping below the cloud there as well. The futures are looking weak this morning. It's rare that you see the future down 1%, so the S&P future down 1% does tell us that the US market will open lower, and the Nasdaq E-mini down 0.8%. That means the VIX has kicked up to 19.5, so the fear index, that's the jump there. The fear index is now back above the cloud on the daily chart, so markets are more fearful. It's showing up in the VIX volatility. The FTSE future down 1.1% this morning, so falling away quite sharply there. The DAX in Germany down 2%, so we are seeing big moves there, and the CAC 40 also down 2.2%, so another big move there. Japan bucking the trend, up 0.5%. But the really big mover was China, as well as Hong Kong, down 3.4%. Evergrande, the story there, down 15%, down 85% so far this year. The massive Chinese property conglomerate, with fears of a credit crunch there. So that's pushed Hong Kong much lower. Taking a look at the Sensex, so the Shanghai market, it's taken it fairly much in its stride. The Sensex in India down 0.2%, and the Aussie market quite heavily hit too, down 2%. So quite a strong move there. Looking at commodities, we're seeing falls really across the board here. We've got sugar down 0.5%, wheat down 0.6%, and corn down 1.5%. So we are just seeing weakness there. Gold, actually little change, sitting at 1753, has fallen away quite a bit on Thursday from that 1800 level, so that's quite key. And silver also falling away, so that is also quite key. We're up this morning, but silver back below that $23 mark is not good news. So we are just seeing weakness in precious metals, and that's really showing up in platinum and palladium. We're down 2% in platinum, palladium down 1.9%. Taking a look at bond yields, the interesting thing here is we did nudge up quite sharply on Friday, hitting that 138 level, and activating that upside target, which is absolutely key. That 179 and that 174, those targets being activated. So this is where the markets are fearful. This is this surge in inflation potential, and with everything that we're seeing in commodity price inflation, especially in energy, those fears abound. So the key thing is looking. This is TTF front month gas. This is the 60-minute chart. The key numbers here are 60 euros and 79.30, let's say 80. 60.80 is the range. That's what we've got to watch. We've got upside targets here. Really interesting seeing the daily chart actually now. The candle level on the daily chart is pushing potentially higher than the close that we saw on Wednesday, so last week, where we had that big hammer candle. So that's really quite interesting to see that, and that shows up very clearly in the lagging line. So these are key levels. The way to put these on your charts, it's really simple and Updata. It's this button here, key levels, and I'm just going to say 30. I want to look back 30 periods, and I want to ignore the last three so that I can see whether I get a break of those levels. So this is just giving me a range, and we will keep that on the chart. So this is on the daily. We can do the same on the 60-minute as well. So here we just literally go and place the key levels on the chart. Again, we'll go for 30, and we'll ignore the last three bars, and that's the levels. So that's what we really have to watch, and this will show up much more clearly on some of the gas charts like this one here. So on WTI, we've got the levels 73, 40, 61, and here the shorter term levels. And interestingly, we are falling below on US Nat Gas. We're pretty much neutral this week on most contracts out to clients this morning because of this range that is now potentially there. The only exception was coal, which we'll have a look at in a minute. Seeing here US Nat Gas, a big range opening out, and we're falling away there. If we look at coal, this is where the key levels really show up. 132 and 118. That was the low, that was the high. It's all about, will we make a higher high or a lower low? We found support on the cloud with coal, so we feel that is looking continuously bullish. Emissions actually broke down last week below the cloud, so they have looked bearish, and we've got downside targets on the 1 minute chart. If you're trading emissions, you need to keep an eye on these 1 minute charts. And here we see on the 60 minute much the same future. The UK future is looking stronger than the European future. NBP, the numbers here, we see here the key levels here, 150, 194, let's say 150, 200. That's what you've got to watch. TTF we've already talked about. We've got targets here, interestingly, on TTF, and we aren't just nudging higher than that close that we saw on Wednesday. So that's quite interesting. Looking at German power, looking stronger here too for a recovery. 96 is the lower level, and about 108 is the higher level, 197, 107.97, let's say 108. So that's what we've got to watch. We've got this upside target, still a 123 to play for, and a new target to 105 on the 60 minute. Watch your 1 minute OTC chart targets. Looking to Nordic Power, much the same picture here. Very key levels, and the same on the quarterly contract, a much wider range here, 64.90 euros. And of course, UK Power has been a big story. And here we're seeing levels of about 150 to 200. So again, you'll need your OTC pricing there. But the key levels is going to be the key thing to watch this week. And the 1 minute targets really give you a heads up as to which way we're going to break. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.